There you go. Stop. No more touching. It's working.
Right.
Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast. My name is Simon Mill and today I am joined by Brett Phipps.
Hello.
Tom Orry.
Hello.
Stephen Burns.
No, you're not.
That's it. I'm not joined by you today.
That's a lie.
Who are you today? Be anyone you want to be in this magical land that is podcasting.
William H. Fox.
William H. Fox is here today instead of Stephen W. Burns. It's either a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday. Maybe it's the weekend. I don't know when you listen to this podcast, but it is a random day of the week, and we are here to talk video games. Before we talk video games, we never do this.
Yeah.
We should pimp shit. No, listen to any podcast in the world, they pimp shit.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to us on Twitter, you want to hear us on Twitter, it's at VideoGamerCom.
Yeah.
You go to Facebook and find us. We're on YouTube at /VideoGamerTV.
Yeah.
And of course, you can sign up to our Patreon at patreon.com/VideoGamer. See, that is professionalism personified.
Are we allowed to advertise things we're selling?
Yeah, fridge freezer.
Actually, if anyone out there needs a bit of cash in hand work, I've got to clear out a garage and just tweet William H. Fox.
There you go. Tweet Stephen Burns and maybe you can, get yourself some work this weekend and then you can go out and buy a video game with that money. It all ties in. Before we talk about what we've been playing this week, we have to do our due diligence and we've got to talk about the death of Silent Hills. Completely confirmed now. Rumours over the weekend after the man himself, as we call him, GDT. What's his name, Burns?
Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you. Came out on Twitter or whatever he did and said, look, it's probably not going to happen. And then obviously Konami came out this week and said, yep, you can cross that off your list.
Yep.
Now, it's all to do with this nonsense to do with Kojima. To do there. What do we think? Are we sad? Are we happy? Do we not care? I personally think it's awful. PT's gone now. That's off the PlayStation Store. So I assume if you've already downloaded it, you can still play it. It's just
It won't
be able
be
to
gone from your library. It's just
play it
gone
going
from the
forward. But
store.
that's it. Silent Hills is gone. Potentially one of the most interesting and ambitious horror games in years. Dead. Finished. Finito. Out. Shot. Killed. Over.
It was weird when Konami said, but don't worry, Silent Hill is still alive, but Silent Hills is dead. So that doesn't mean anything, because the only reason we were excited was because...
There'll be another Silent Hill game because that franchise still has some weight. Like me and Steve were talking about yesterday, it's still, even Downpour, which wasn't necessarily considered a good one, managed to win some people over. So it will come back, but who's going to make it?
Exactly.
How are you ever going to live up to this, legacy, pre-legacy almost, that was left and is now dead?
Who made PT?
Kojima Studios.
Definitely.
production,
How
sorry.
much did he do?
I presume he had some input into it.
It was creative,
You must have. It was too
surely.
creative
Yeah.
and weird not to have some Kojima
there
input
might
in
be
it.
other weird creative people around.
Well, also, if
Well-
he didn't do it, I'm sure whoever did it would have stood up saying
John
it
Hills.
was actually John Konami Hills.
Yeah.
Would have stood up saying, "A minute, it was me. Don't worry about it. I've
Well,
got this."
But more importantly, talking it from a sort of overseeing point of view, in our opinions, what's going on with Kojima? Because look, there's two
He
ways you
tweeted
can look at
today.
it. He did tweet.
He did
There's two
tweet.
ways you can look at it. Either
He's back.
Konami has done something to annoy Kojima, or, and I think Steve agrees with me here, more likely Kojima has done something to annoy Konami, which is why this is happening. I presume that Metal Gear Solid 5 is far more developed and far along developed than PT, Silent Hills, thinking, well, we'll just shove that to one side, finish this and part ways. But what's going on?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Like you say, one started the argument, but they're both equally pissed off, and they're both just saying, right, let's just break up, take my name off of everything that I've ever done. As if
So you
they
think
did it.
Kojima's asking to do it? You don't think it's spiteful on the sake of Konami?
Well, I guess it could be, like you say, either way, but it's quite clear there's a very public breakup. It's very messy, but it's just weird that everything's being done so publicly with neither party saying anything. We can all see what the sort of consequences of the fallout are without knowing actually anything that's happened.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre. It is really weird. I don't know what you guys think, but it is really weird.
Like I said on Twitter yesterday, I'm not saying he did, but you just got, what if Kojima went round the office with a sawn-off shotgun, shooting people indiscriminately? You just don't know. You don't know. No one knows what's happening, but Kojima is 52, 53 years old.
Yeah.
He's got to be thinking, how long am I
What's my
actually going to
legacy all
do
about?
Metal Gear for? And as someone rightly pointed out on Twitter yesterday, it's not like Konami hasn't looked after Kojima. He's got his own studio.
Yeah.
He's got
Lot of power.
Yeah, he's got
Two studios.
I mean, he was a vice president at the company, and more than most, he was responsible for a lot of its profits and a lot of all that cool shit. But at the same time, Metal Gear Solid, not sure, Tom, do we talk about this? Doesn't make crazy GTA Call of Duty money.
Well, it's not as big as those, is it? But
No.
I guess it's like a, I don't know, it's seen as a
It's a marquee
franchise,
name,
yeah.
but in terms of the drawing power, I mean, come on, Miller, give me a wrestling thing here. So is it a bit like Shawn Michaels, big name, not pulling in the dollars? Maybe
Oh,
you'd
that's
think.
good. I like that. Yeah.
You know, people still go, "Oh, if Shawn Michaels went to WCW, like, oh my life."
No, he
Shawn-
wouldn't. Shawn Michaels didn't draw. It's a very good point. He was like, he's considered one of the best professional wrestlers ever. But if you actually look at when he was on top, maybe he wasn't making the money that Hogan was making.
Yep.
And Hogan wasn't considered the big boy.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful analogy,
It
Stephen.
still has sold, like it's sold.
I mean, it makes
40 million units or something.
It makes a lot of money,
which
but
is
it doesn't.
good. But it's not like I was looking at some Wikipedia entries, so it could all be wrong. But like stuff like Just Dance has sold more units.
Oh, I bet it has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it doesn't
it's-
surprise me at all.
So it's not like it's not like a massive. It's not GTA COD level.
And can you indulge someone for that long on that? If revenue's down, for example, if you're relying on one guy every, it's not like Terrence Malick. It's like every 25 years, someone just goes, "Well, actually, Terrence, you should probably make this movie." And he goes, "Okay." It doesn't make any money, but people do it because they love his movies and
Yeah.
they make a lot out of the back end of distribution, whatever. But every 5-7 years to go, okay, I need $100 million. Like, okay,
Thing is, though,
okay.
Yeah.
Right, we had this discussion yesterday, and the counter to that, like the Just Dance or whatever franchise you name, is that for a long time, it was a one platform only game. Whatever the one that came out, it came out on a single platform, even Twin Snakes or whatever. So,
And Metal Gear Solid 2 came out on 2 platforms.
what are you talking about?
Silence.
Which one? Substance.
Talking about, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance came out on 2
Yeah,
platforms.
But every game that's come out, it has grown the series. Like 3 was bigger than 2, and then 4 was.
I don't think 3 sold as many as 2.
Did it not?
No.
Right,
Boys just
definitely
falling
not.
apart
But
in front of our eyes.
But even though it has not sold as many, it was one of those for a long time that was considered a PlayStation brand, and then eventually it has grown out, and now it's coming out on everything. And to say like it's not as big as these other things, you're right in terms of sales, but for obvious reasons. And then, like you say, it is a marquee name, and for Konami, they're so hugely attached to.
It
a
gives
very
them a lot
limited
of
number.
goodwill.
Yeah, it's very strongly attached to a very limited number of brands, and to lose such a strong pillar, it's sort of like,
But
well, what do they do
does-
now?
does Konami care?
Metal Gear still carries on, doesn't it? Like they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
keep
they're not
making
losing-
games, and I imagine for a lot of people, they just won't care that it's changed.
They won't know.
Like, by
it's
the
the
leadership
it's
or
the whole
anything.
Call of Duty thing. No, a lot of people sort of outside of the few people that, including us, that yell on Twitter about games. They don't even know that Call of Duty is made by different studios. They don't care. They're just happy to get their
In fact,
their
some,
yearly Call of
some
Duty.
people who are in games get those studios confused.
Oh,
Somewhat
really?
as happened
Oh, there we
with
go.
other websites that are available.
Well, so there you go. If you didn't know, Silent Hills is unfortunately being canned. I think that's more upsetting than Metal Gear Solid going forward, because I think someone else could probably make a decent Metal Gear Solid. I mean, not as good, but a decent Metal Gear Solid game based on the foundations that have been built up. Whereas me, as somebody that hates horror games, I was going to play Silent Hills.
But we didn't know anything about it, did we? Like
But PT I know, but-
was like a. I don't think they ever said the game was going to be like PT.
No, they said
did
they didn't. They said this may not be representative of the final product. But my argument to that is, well, if those three people, that being Konami, GDT, and Kojima, could make that off, let's call it an hour-long demo, with the right money and the right back in the right time, the potential to make something incredible was huge. And the fact that PT can stand by itself as a standalone game—that's the real shame, as you said, yesterday, Burns, is that. Why pull PT? Just leave it up there. It's a fine game, but that just goes to show there's probably bad blood there. Anyway,
It's not a game though, anyway, so don't worry about it.
No, it's
Yeah,
not a game. So we transition out of that, and we're going to talk about the games we've been playing this week. Brad, I'm going to start at you. I don't know why. I just fancy looking to the left. So games you've been playing this week. Hit me.
Just Destiny, or just. I know it's an old game, and people keep saying, "Why is everyone?"
Well,
playing
the new
Destiny?"
DLC is
Everyone's
coming
playing
out.
it.
It was already out. I don't know when it's coming
It's
out.
coming out next month, but
Yeah.
I'm just getting ready for the House of Walls DLC. I put so many hours into Destiny this week, and I think I've now played it close to 80 hours overall.
80 hours of Destiny.
And a lot of that has been
MMO.
in the past month or so. But yeah, it's just insane trying to, because it's very easy to find people to play with in Destiny. Like other games, Call of Duty and whatnot, you're playing with strangers a lot of the time. And it's true in Destiny, but what I'll do is I'll just go on Reddit or, other way, I'll just find groups of players to do a raid with. I'll just do that a couple of times a week. And they can take a long time to finish, but it's just so much fun. And it's so satisfying. The shooting mechanics now are so good. It's just easy to play. Every time I come home, I think, right, I've got 6 or 7 games that I want to play through their story. But when you think about starting them from scratch, you think, I can't be arsed. I'll just play Destiny for an hour or two, and it's just easy.
It's fascinating considering when it came out, everyone said it was a boring mess and was barely, was a shell of a game. And here we are, 6 months on, 7 months on, and now you're still playing it. You're still putting more time into it. More importantly, you still want to play it.
Yeah.
It's not like you've bored to tears. It's like I assume you're excited about the DLC.
Yeah, can't
as
wait.
well. What does that add?
It adds a new,
More shooting.
new social space, new
More
armor,
MMOing.
new weapons. It doesn't add a raid. As new story content, as new NPCs, as loads of stuff.
Story content. Remember, I reviewed Destiny, and when it ended, I thought, right, now we're finally going to kick on and see this much vaunted story. Oh no, it's the end of the game. Oh, okay, fine. People get mad about Kane Lynch for that.
But people seem with Destiny concerned, they don't seem to care about that. It literally has become this kind of...
It doesn't like the
no,
stories.
perpetual
You run around
community.
shooting the fuck out of things.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause the way Bungie's always done it is if you want the story, it's there, but it's done. They do it in the Grimoire thing where it's on you can read about. It's not going to get in your way. They're not going to stop the game and make you read or watch or you don't have to be invested in the story to play the game. The game's there if you want it. And if you want to find out about the story, you go to the app. You can read about it online.
Story-wise, this is a lot less. There's less storytelling in this given to you, like on a plate.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
there is in that previous games.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
there?
But
Exactly,
Halo
yeah.
was a bit like that as well.
Oh yeah, Halo.
It had not strong, a mediocre narrative that ran through it, but all the interesting stuff was in computer terminals,
yeah.
logos,
And look at
stuff
Halo
like that.
2. It just ends. It just ends.
It really does.
Yeah.
I remember that. Destiny's something I still haven't touched, and I'm kind of half between wanting to play it and thinking it's too much of a challenge now to try. It's like a slog. I feel like it'd be like going to something like World of Warcraft, where I'm going to be completely alienated and feel completely terrified and go, you know what, I cannot be bothered to invest the time to work out what the hell I'm doing.
Well, like I've started a second character because there's 3 different classes, so I'm able to do that from scratch and keep building. When I haven't got anything to do with my first character, once I've done all the weekly stuff, I'll go into the second character. So if I'm able to do that, I think it's fine because you don't have to do the multiplayer stuff anyway. And PvP doesn't take into account character levels in the same way. It judges your weapons and stuff rather than how much you've leveled them up. It's a really weird balancing thing, but it works.
Okay,
as
well, moving on from old stuff to new stuff. I know you didn't see it. You chatted to Dave about it, so I want to chat to you about it. I'm going to use you as my tool. Dirt Rally,
Yeah.
all right, which is now early access on Steam for £25.
That bastard made me buy it as well with the way he talked about it.
Did you buy it?
Oh boy, I haven't played it yet.
$24.99.
Yeah.
for an early
10%
access
discount.
game. Welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen.
For a video game.
That's just insane.
I haven't bought a video game in years because I'm pressed now. Do you know what I mean? Like they
sit
send
around,
it.
eat crisps, and play games.
Yeah, they just send it to me and they go, "Cheers, Steve.
Not even out
Make
the
sure
bag.
this is good." Yeah.
There's a little note in it. Remember,
Yeah.
here's the score we'd like. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks very much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do my work.
If
for
you don't
me.
mind, a little kiss at the end.
But I'm intrigued by it because I don't like super hardcore racing games, but I like the fact that they do exist. And this
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like it's like, in the way Dave described it, it was flight sim for rally games.
Yeah.
Now, I've played flight sim. Fuck that. What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
But in this case, I guess because it's more interesting with cars for me. Maybe something I may dip my I mean, not for 25 quid, but maybe in the future I'd be intrigued by.
See, the thing is, like, when we spoke about it, and when Dave went to that press event, obviously he said the game was ball achingly hard. But I spoke to Dave yesterday because he started playing it properly. I think
He
picked
loves
up
it
as well.
now.
He said that the opening couple of hours of it do so well explaining the mechanics and easing you into it that it's not actually as hard as it was
Does it
perceived.
teach you how to turn?
I guess so, but again, I haven't played it. But again,
But when you say it's proper hardcore simmy, is it in the sense that you have to worry about clutch control and gears, or is it more
no.
you've got to time your turn right? It won't sort of protect you. It won't let you arcade the corner and stuff like that.
yeah, I'd assume that you can choose between manual and automatic. I'd hope, and then when it comes to it's a rally game, so you don't have to brake and turn into the apex. I assume you have to swing the back end round the corner and keep
Right.
it in control. Turn the car sideways.
So when they say simmy, they mean, if the traction on your wheels happen to do this, we will ensure the car spins.
yeah, exactly. And again, because it's rally driving, which if you ever watch rally racing, it's ridiculous.
Kills
how
loads
those-
of people.
It's
Oh, it's
insane.
boring as fuck, isn't it?
Well,
It's just a bunch of maths homework. Yeah,
like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
no, yeah, it's crap. It's crap.
But yeah, honestly, you look at the width of the roads they go down, you think, how on earth are they doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
But if the opening few hours help ease you into that, and you've sort of subconsciously get good at it, and at the end you think, oh fuck, I can do this, then that's good. That's why I'm invested in it. And the fact is, like, it's early access, and they're going to be adding more to it. And
What do you get? The fact is, you
Allegedly.
get limited. Yeah, you get limited 3 tracks, right?
but 36 routes within those 3 tracks.
Do you get to choose those routes, or is it literally there's a track you pick route 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
What do you mean?
Well, can you is there like forks you can take and stuff, or is it?
No, I
more-
imagine it's like
That's
say
not
there's
how
12.
rallying
Yeah,
works,
say there's
Miller.
12.
Is
It's
there
a
a mirror-
video game.
No, no,
They
no.
choose to do that.
Say I don't know the snow because again I haven't looked into it much. There's like the snow level, right? And there'll be 12 sub routes within that, and you choose one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Silverstone. You've got the F1 track.
Yeah.
You've got the
Or
short
the
circuit.
Nürburgring, you do half ring and stuff like
exactly.
that.
So it'd be
Right,
like
okay.
that. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
not Outrun, Miller. Right?
But look, it's a video game. They
Does
can
it
do
have a
whatever
mirror,
they want.
actually?
They may go, you know what? We'll have some funny.
Yeah, but it's a sim video
Yeah,
game.
but you know
It's
what?
worth asking. People out there may have been questioning it.
It'd be miles
I am
better.
their conduit here in this Video Gamer UK podcast, and I will not let them down.
You ask the questions.
It'd be miles better
Never thought to ask.
I can't do serious racing games. What's the point?
Oh, I
It's too
love
much
them.
like hard work.
But they're
It's-
amazing.
Oh, now I've got to turn it. I want a new Burnout game, okay?
You're not getting it.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I know.
You're never going
They
to
are.
get
After
it.
the last one, they were like, fuck that guy. He's not coming here
Aren't they?
again.
The guy that made Burnout has left to do his own thing, didn't he? He's doing
Yeah.
Burnout. He basically tweeted saying, "I'm making a Burnout." Essentially,
Yeah.
I believe it when
Which
I
guy
see
was
it.
that?
the guy your
Mr.
mate.
Burnout.
Alex Ward.
Yeah,
Alex Ward. He's a good lad, Alex Ward.
Straight away from your face. I'm intrigued by it. I just don't think. I just don't like this whole early access. Pay us, you know. And apparently the price could go up as well.
Well, yeah, they said the price will go up the longer into it because it's like same thing about paying for a
Bad.
demo.
It's bad. It's bad.
Well-
it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I know a lot of people love early access. That's fine. But for me, it doesn't work.
I normally don't, but this one I just wanted to play what there is now, and then again, if the price is only, I've bought 2 early access games. This and Chaos Reborn. Chaos Reborn was great right from the get go. You know, no matter what
right.
was there. But if the price is going to go up, it's because they're adding more content. So essentially, it's like DLC.
Yeah.
yeah, but it'll be
it's
in about 6 months. It'll be £3 in a Steam sale.
Probably.
What about people that wanted Dirt 4? There are a few
I'm
people
not
that are
one of those
mad.
people. I can't speak for 'em.
I'm just. Oh, jeez, my knees. It's called devil's advocate, my friend. But should they be? I mean, because there are people that love Dirt.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wanted Dirt 4. This is not Dirt 4. Is it worth a punt for those people? Or is it so way off the scale of those games?
He
that
hasn't
it's not
even
worth
played
it?
it. He
That's
doesn't
I
have
haven't played it.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Dave,
It's called a
I
conversation.
talked to you
You all
about
suck
Dave.
today. Apart from Burns, you
I-
two suck
I
right
was gonna
now.
tell you
You're coming
about
at me.
Dave's thoughts.
Fuck, exactly. Yeah. Oh, someone
I
who's
was,
played it for
about
fuck's
to
sake.
tell you about what Dave told me, but I'm not going to now.
Well, no, don't do it for me. Do it for them. For the
No.
people
Well,
who are listening.
So
What
I
did-
love Dirt 3. It was a very arcadey game like Bernstein. If you want to drive and smash shit, then you can. That's one of the missions, isn't it? It's to hit all the signs and all that.
Yeah.
And this definitely doesn't sound like the game for those people
No, it
who
sounds
want
like a
to.
PS.
When the
Sounds like
fireworks are going off in the
So
background.
what did Dave think? Because when I listened to Dave talking about it in the video, he sounded impressed but skeptical.
Well, he wasn't excited, but now he played it for most of yesterday, and he loves it now. He's saying he wants to upgrade his PC to get a better PC.
Shut up, Dave. GTA 5 would make you upgrade your PC, but fucking
Rally,
just V Rally 12. You're like, yeah.
Also, there was people in the comments on that YouTube video, again, VideoGamerTV, if you want to watch it,
there we go.
were saying that, because we said it doesn't look nice, and it doesn't, but people were saying, oh, what are you saying, it don't look nice? This game struggled to run on Xbox One and PS4. Fuck off. Have you looked at that video footage?
It doesn't look
great at all.
It doesn't look brilliant, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like
I think it looks okay.
Dirt
Yeah,
3
but-
was a good-looking game anyway. Like it's essentially the same engine that was.
Yeah,
But that's
it's not running on the new
And that's
engine.
the whole early access thing, isn't it? You can get away with this kind
Yeah,
of.
but-
Well, no,
It's
because it's
not.
not because the F1 game that Codemaster's doing is running on a brand new engine, but this isn't running on that. 'Cause
That's what I mean, though. Like, if this
Yeah,
had been
yeah.
on PS or Xbox One, then you could point the finger a bit more. But early access on Steam, I think that's probably half the reason the visuals aren't what you expect
But
them
when
to
it
be.
comes
Yeah.
out of early access, it's still going to be the same engine.
Well,
it is
that's
now.
true, yeah.
It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like if you thought, wow, new next gen rally game. It's not really
game?
in
Yeah.
terms of the appearance anyway.
Well, I guess if you want a rally game that plays like a rally
It
experience,
doesn't look. It doesn't
yeah.
look bad. Like you watch it like in the weather, like the rain and stuff. It still looks.
I thought it looked all right when I was watching it. I thought it looked. I wouldn't expect it to look any better. There you go, Tom. What have you been playing this week?
Rogue Legacy.
Have you really? You've gone
Oh,
back
yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
Well, I keep playing it because it's installed basically,
and it's addictive.
And the other game I can play that is either Wolfenstein, which I finished, still in my disk drive. That's pointless.
New order soon, though,
Or,
Tom.
yeah, or Rogue Legacy. So I play that, and I don't really know what I think about it. It's
How
like,
far in are you in terms of hours?
I don't know. I'm like quite a few hours, I'd say, but I don't think I've done much. Like that castle at the beginning thing
Yeah.
that you kind of upgrade and it opens
Yeah.
up new stuff. I've done quite a lot on that, and I've got. I mean, the problem is that for people that don't know the game, every time it's a rogue light.
Yeah, something like that.
Roguelike.
It's the kind of game someone that used to work used to play all the time that I won't mention. But every time you die, you start again. But in this, you kind of have traits of your
your
kind
ancestors.
and you earn money and then you can spend it on upgrades and things. So each time, in theory, you get better and can
You
do
level up.
more. The problem is that when you enter the castle, each time there's this guy that takes all your money from
The
you. So
asshole.
if you
Skeletor's brother.
don't spend it, it's gone. And my problem for a long time is that I never earned enough to spend it on anything.
so you keep
So
wasting
I'd be
your
getting
money.
like a bit of money, but it'd be gone because this guy would take it every time.
Is it about inheritance tax? This game?
Yeah, it pretty much is. It really is. That is.
I'm not playing it because it's about people's kids, but like
It will change based on the election. They'll take that bit out.
Can you imagine?
bedroom tax. You're not allowed in that part of the.
They just swapped the guy up for Ed Midderbank. I was like,
Exactly. Now you go in, it's fine.
Good old Ed. Good old Ed.
I never played a roguelike properly before Rogue Legacy, but I honestly do think if that's the kind of game you want to get into, that's the game to play.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite games in years.
I
think
just
it's
don't know. I
fantastic.
don't know like what is going to happen. Like, well, how much game is there? Because I haven't really. I don't think I've even killed. I assume there's bosses and stuff.
Oh my gosh, there's 5
I
of them.
haven't. I don't think I've killed a boss.
No, you'd
Done-
know. You'd know.
I don't think
Oh
I
yeah,
have.
and there's a
There's a
very
specific
big
door,
setup.
yeah.
And it feels like all I'm doing is very, very slowly getting marginally
Yeah, that is pretty much it.
better. And I don't think I'm getting better, but maybe I'm slightly. But my man can now double jump, and he can. He's got a bit more health, and he
Yeah.
can hit a bit harder. But then it feels like because you get upgrades to different classes, don't you? So the barbarian class is really strong, but sometimes that isn't an option in the
Yeah.
when you choose your next character, you can only choose like a mage or something, and he's like really weak, and then I just die really quickly because I haven't got like the upgrades for them are rubbish from my point of view. And then there's all this stuff like you can buy armor and you can buy new like moves and stuff, and it feels like there's a lot there, but I've been playing it for quite a while and haven't done much.
I think you have to stick with it. It's one of the. I mean, I played it probably for 3-4 hours before it actually clicked. I mean, it is the whole thing that Brett and I talked about ages ago. You know, the satisfaction comes to the education the game gives you, and as soon as you understand the education, it does become better. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure it's going to grab you. So I would say stick
also
with it.
feels
but
like a bit like there's with just how it plays, like the platforming, like action gameplay. It feels sometimes like it's designed in just an annoying way. Like you jump and you hit the ceiling and the spikes.
oh, it's an
And
asshole
it's
game.
like
Yeah, it's cheap.
It's hard to even know how to get past
disagree.
those bits. Like, and like, there's lots of bits. There's these chests. You have to open them and you get special rewards, money, whatever.
Yeah.
And some of them are within these like areas where you have to do certain things.
got a
to open
challenge,
it.
yeah.
And they're often like don't get hit, but then you've got to like dodge 800 bullets and all these things.
Yeah,
flying
they're
at you with
great.
Spikes.
But
and
that's what's
stuff.
amazing. When you do get to sort of 15 hours in and you get to this chest you wouldn't have been able to do at the start of the game and you do it, you realise how much better you've got, and that's
Yeah.
where kind of the rush of enjoyment comes from.
Because there's two systems in play as well, and it doesn't matter how fast you progress on both of them. You've got the player themselves getting better, and you've also got the character getting better as well. And it, like you say, there are certain times where you absolutely cannot do that challenge. But when you unlock the double dash, the double jumps, triple jumps, and things like that, it does help you combined with you getting better at the game as well. It makes it easier to get those things done.
Can you one bro it?
You do what?
Can you one bro it?
I don't know.
What's that?
You
like
don't
a
know
fist
what?
bump?
Hold on, you're the fucking guy who does all the Souls cover. You don't know what one bro is.
I don't know what one bro is.
One bro is people who complete Dark Souls games, I think, but don't upgrade their character. They just run through and try and do all the bosses.
Yeah, you could
I
do
just-
that.
I just consider
you could
that
choose to
Stephen.
do that if you wanted
Yeah.
to do that. I can't.
I've seen-
why
I've-
would anyone do that? What is wrong with people?
I've seen that of a Rogue Legacy speedrun. The guy did it in about 20 minutes, I think.
So you guys are all just shit then. Is that what we're saying?
More sensible. Who wants to do that?
What are
That's
you
not
lumping
fun.
me in for?
Me?
Mate.
I'm going to play this game now.
Rogue
And
Legacy.
I'm gonna
It's
give
really
you
my
may like
opinion.
it.
When I'm flying to LA with Dave, so he'll be.
It's on Vita.
It's on Vita.
Yeah,
it is,
I'll
yeah.
play it on my
Done.
Vita.
In June, Steve Burns plays Rogue Legacy.
That's a call for whoever
live.
makes that game to slide.
Send it to you.
Send it to me. Send it to this office.
With some kind of treat.
There's a subway downstairs.
Yeah,
Maybe
send-
pick up
yeah.
an Italian BMT. Put the
get-
cart in it. but obviously make sure it's wrapped.
You can get Doritos in Subway as well.
Yeah, I don't like that.
All right, fine.
I think that's against what Subway is about.
Okay. Tom, you been playing anything else? You wanna chat about?
I played Super Mega Baseball, I think it's called.
Super Mega
On Neo
Baseball.
Geo?
I think it's called that.
Is it on the Sega Mega Drive?
It's on PS4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it good? Because I always want a good baseball game.
Yeah.
And then you play at the MLB ones, and then just you
What
would
about
go
the
for-
show? The show's good, isn't
the
it?
show is
Old
good.
now, isn't it?
Show is good, but it's very difficult. And the problem is you play it on the lower settings and you clearly think this is the settings for children.
Yeah.
This is.
Is this like an arcadey one?
It's an arcade baseball game. I think it came out in the US a while ago, but it's out now over here.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like 13, 14 quid or something, I don't know.
What made you play it? Are you a secret baseball fan?
Well, we got months ago, it was out in the US. I think someone sent us a code and I was looking at it for like a potential challenge.
All right, okay.
Versus video.
Yeah.
But I don't think it quite worked because it's too long, basically. Even though it is arcade, it still takes too long to get through a game. So I thought I'd just give it a go last night. And it's all right. It is just, I mean, there's probably more to it than I've seen because people really love this game. I think it's got really good reviews. It does feel quite simple. But for someone like me, I don't really care about baseball or even know much about it other than you have to get 3 strikes and then
You're out. Yeah.
kind of thing. It works and it's fairly fun. It's very kind of exaggerated, like caricature people and all this kind of stuff. It looks
Like
quite
Barry
nice.
Bonds.
Satire from Stephen W. Burns.
And I think
Baseball
if you're after a baseball game that is not simmy like the show is and that kind of stuff, which although that game looks amazing and is, I imagine, very good if you're into baseball, this is just, it walks you through everything very, like you start a game and it tells you all the stuff gradually. So you can get all like the pitch types and like the swing and the ones that drop and the slow, I don't know. Just it's all done on like the right stick and then you pitch within a certain zone. It's all very simple. Hitting it is just you time the strike based on where the ball, like lining up the ball and stuff.
It sounds like something I'd play, to be honest.
It's all right. It does feel a bit like I have no idea whether this was originally like an old game on another platform, but it feels like maybe a SNES Mega Drive game. But
Like Super Tennis.
Yeah,
Remember Super
but-
Tennis?
yeah.
It's so fucking good.
yeah, I think it's like I haven't played much of it. I played it for about 40 minutes last night.
Yeah.
It was fun. I'll probably play it again.
There you go. So the small endorsement. What's it called? Super Mega Baseball.
It might be called something else completely.
I
but
prefer
I think
Super
it's
Mega
called
Baseball.
Super Mega Baseball.
All right. Well, there you
If
go.
not, it probably should be.
If you're into baseball games, Tom Warrior's
Fair
just
enough.
hooked you up. Steve Burns
Hello.
playing What Have You?
The Evil Within second DLC.
Oh, of course, yeah, right. See, I played about 5 chapters of The Evil Within. I
Yeah.
actually thought it was pretty good, pretty decent. I thought a lot of the criticism it got was unfounded, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do in the DLC?
So in the assignment and the consequence,
Is that 2 different things? That's what it's called, isn't it?
there it's just one big DLC broken
Right,
into
okay.
2 parts. You play as Julie Kidman, who is one of the agents that you're with in the game when you're playing as Sebastian, who does that thing where she just goes, "Oh yeah, I'm off now to," and like, but what about helping with? No,
Yeah,
This
this
is a
terrible,
horror.
terrible
Let's split it up.
crisis. Yeah, exactly.
But it functions. The DLC functions like the B scenarios you get in Resident Evil 2. So when you finish Resi 2, and you could load it again,
Yeah.
and you would go through and see what other characters are up to and come at it from different angles. So it's a bit like that, and it's actually quite good. There's a lot of exposition, especially in the assignment, but there's a far less emphasis on action. So there's a lot of dread and a lot of panic action in the Evil Within, whereas in the assignment and the consequence, it's a lot more about atmosphere, and it makes it
I
really,
like that.
really good. Unfortunately, the stealth in the Evil Within shite,
Yeah.
and
Stealth shite in most things.
in the consequence, you don't have a firearm until right at the very end of the game. So the game has to either focus on atmosphere, so you don't really encounter a lot of enemies, or do loads of stealth. It fortunately goes for the former, so you do just spend a lot of time kind of walking through environments, and that's the Evil Within's great asset. Is it becomes a dream world that you inhabit, but you and the character are in almost the same point of view. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on? How do I get out of here? And it gets to the point where, when everything changes and goes grotesque and it goes like the other world from Silent Hill, you just kind of accept it. And you're like, oh, okay, things are getting weird now. Like characters in films about dreams, they accept the rules and they get on with them. And that's really, really good. It's paced very nicely. But yeah, there's a few stealth encounters which is easy to just turn or die and start again.
I can't stand that stuff.
There's a one-hit kill boss where there's a bit where you have to run and open a door. And it's one of those kind of like keypad doors where you press it and you get a handprint and then it's like, oh no, it's coming. And someone on Twitter actually told me this, that if you die the first time doing that by the boss, the second time and subsequent times, it's so much harder because the checkpointing will start the enemy much closer to you.
I thought I really, really hoped you were going to say it's easier, and I was going to about to praise them for being smart, but no, it's the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, and that boss is the boss in the assignment is the same one it carries over. It's quite cool, but it looks like the big sister from BioShock, and it's got a spotlight for a head. And if it sees you, it slows you down, and then if it gets close to you, it just kills you one hit, which is annoying. And also in the Evil Within, especially in the DLC, you can't sprint for longer than 4 seconds without the main character keeling over and actually like putting their hands on their knees and going, and then you just die. Life. So there are still flaws in the main game. That's mitigated by you can upgrade your character, so you can just run and run and run. Whereas you can't. There's no upgrade system in this one. But there's not a lot of that. And when it works, which is for most of the 2.5 hour running time, it really does work. And it's it's very accomplished as DLC goes. And it's £6. So go and get it.
It's pretty good. Per half, yeah.
Sorry?
£6 per half for the DLC.
£6.49, I think.
Yeah.
So it's 12 quid, 13 quid.
Or part of a season pass, which I think has been reduced loads.
It was 2.5 hours each.
You think about,
So 5 hours.
Well, it depends how many times you die.
Okay, but roughly 5 hours for all the
around
stuff.
that. Yeah,
fair enough.
I've been playing something else, Miller.
Okay,
it's tied to this somewhat.
Yeah.
It's called Uncanny Valley on the PC.
Okay,
it's like
what you mean all PC gaming?
It's like a 2D pixel art Silent Hill, I suppose is how they try and describe it.
Is it scary?
I played it because I'm trying to make sure we pick games for like 2 cowards.
I feel sorry for Tom because every time we're looking up games for a 2 cowards, he's the one who has to play all of them and focus
but
test.
I think Tom is, doesn't bother in that stuff.
Whereas just numb most to it by now.
Exactly.
And I think it will work as 2 cowards because it's more like atmosphere and stuff than like, oh, there's a thing jumping at me. But it's kind of interesting in that it's you play this guy who ends up taking this job in like an apartment block, and you're like a guard. You have to patrol the corridors and stuff, and just make sure nothing weird's going on. But then every night something weird happens, and like you get these visions and stuff, and then after a certain amount of time, you just go to sleep essentially because it's time to go to sleep. So then you have a dream. There's like weird monsters over the place. And
is it like Lone Survivor? Do you play that?
That's the other 2D pixel art.
That's the other Silent Hill game.
I haven't played it, but it looks sort of similar. This has a more, even though it sounds weird, a more realistic look to it, even though it isn't.
Yeah, Lone Survivor is really quite stylized.
Yeah, I mean, it is still pixel art, but it has a more, like, it's like as if they looked at something like Silent Hill and made it into pixel art. And it's kind of, like, the atmosphere and stuff is cool, and the premise is quite good, and, like, you patrol, and then you've got a buddy that... is like your boss, I guess, and some weird stuff happens, like you go to like a generator and then suddenly like you wake up the next day and he's there dead, and for some reason my guy didn't notice that he was dead on the floor, but and it's got I assume numerous possible endings and stuff depending on how you do.
Dog ending.
I ended up in like somehow I'd been like, there's this woman in one of the apartments or maybe the building you work in, and you meant to like you talk to her now and again, and then suddenly you were in like this flat apartment, and she was your wife. And and you were like,
"This is not my beautiful."
You were like,
"Yeah, exactly." Yeah.
You're like, "What's going on?" Like, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, darling, it's all fine." And then you kind of root around in the apartment. She's cooking like waffles or something, and you go through like this grate in the wall, and suddenly there's like
more waffles,
all this weird shit everywhere, and you go through another door, and there's like this zombie weird monster and these people on the machines all hooked up all over the place. And then because I didn't have any weapons, this thing just got me. And then I was suddenly in this like closet, and then the woman walks in, and I'd been like tied to the wall essentially, and she was like, "Don't worry, it's never going to happen again." And then she sawed off each of my limbs.
Jesus. Your wife did?
Yeah.
It's not a very good
sawed
wife.
off each limb one at a time, and and then you could see like the sprite thing like slumping around on the wall, and then she'd like use some blowtorch to seal off each wound,
some
and then
misery.
at the end she just hugged him. This like just stump of a body. It was like, you're never going to leave me now, and then it just ended. Credits.
That was the end of the game.
Well, that was one ending, I think.
Spoiler alert.
There's loads. I think there must be quite a lot of endings because this.
I'm going to play this game now.
Yeah,
I
so
clearly-
that wasn't a,
Yeah,
that
I'm
wasn't a
intrigued
good
by
ending.
this.
I clearly
Wasn't a good one.
I failed definitely. Because
Yeah, well,
there's
Yeah, you was stumped in the end.
in the options there's like controls and stuff, and one of them is like how to fire a gun. I didn't have a gun,
right.
so that's clearly my mistake.
Will it
That's
run on dog
fascinating.
shit machines?
It'll run on lots of stuff. I think it looks. I mean, it looks nice for what it is, but it isn't. Like,
I'm gonna play that.
It sounds
I'm
good.
going to
Yeah,
give it
I'll
the
play
Burns horror review treatment.
Yeah. Yeah. And was it Uncanny Valley?
Uncanny Valley on
Is it
PC.
new?
It's. I think it came out like last week.
Okay, so it's relatively so.
It's. I don't know how much it is. It's not that expensive. I guess like £8 or something.
But it's not too cowards worthy.
It's not. It's not
shame.
like it's not jump
Sounds
scares.
good.
It's
Yeah.
more.
Just fucked upness.
Remember, so I'm gonna have a look at that, guys. So send it to the office. Pop in and get a big tasty on the way.
At least you get your lunch sorted out for the next few days. And
Amazing.
some games.
Amazing,
Got a good
yeah.
week plans. I've been playing Mortal Kombat X, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Right.
See, because the real trailer came out, 2.5 minutes of...
But they are very similar, Malay, right?
Oh, yeah. 2.5 minutes of just Call of Duty, really. And the reason I wanted to chat about it is A, because I assume other people have seen it, and also because I'm genuinely upset that they've merged these two brands into one. And I understand we've only seen a trailer and they could do a lot of other things, but the whole point of a reveal trailer is to give you a sense of where they're going with the game. And the only sense I got from that is that we really like this advanced thing. It did well for us, so we're going to take our Black Ops thing.
They kind of did that anyway already.
I
Didn't
know they
Yeah.
jumped to the future. They could have. They could have ignored it. No one is really that into Call of Duty lore. They're like, you can't do that because that's not how Call of Duty works. They could have said it in, the Cold War or just a different period of time that made it feel different.
It could have flashback sequences.
But that's not the crux of the
I think
game.
Mark
I want.
Lamia, the studio head at Treyarch, has hinted at that. Or
But
maybe
I
he was
want-
just being defensive.
But I want the whole game to be that.
Well, I want that
maybe
minimal
we've
than
just
anything
seen
in the
one
world.
level and the rest of it is all.
Well, if
Maybe it's a big trick.
We
I
saw the
agree, but
Titanfall level.
if they are doing that, that's ridiculous marketing because you're just gonna.
They're clearly not doing that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest problem with it is that I'm desperate because I think Advanced Warfare was really good. I'm a big fan of it. But, it's now got to the point where I'm done with it. Like I am with all Call of Duty games. I have about a 5-6 month shelf life with me, and then I feel like I'm done with the mechanics you've introduced to me. And I think the one thing that Call of Duty is lacking is not style over substance or anything like that, but I want more, something that I can sort of get into deeper that doesn't make me get bored of it after 6 months. And I think a setting such as the Cold War, which hasn't really been touched upon in games, and I understand Call of Duty would do it and they'd set piece it and make it over the top and silly, but it doesn't matter. They can still tell stories from that era, and that era would probably interest me more. And more, over than that, I may not play this year's Call of Duty because I played so much of Advanced Warfare. I don't really need to jump back into a similar world. Where if it's different, I think, okay, this is my... whatever Call of Duty.
The problem with that is with the 3 dev teams, but it's still an annual cycle. The only way they could do that to keep you interested is if each team was responsible for a different type of Call of Duty game in regards to it being a different
That was
sub-genre.
what it was going to be at one point, wasn't it?
You know,
Sledgehammer
instead of-
making a third person.
Yeah,
one,
instead
they
of them
killed
all doing
that.
first-person shooters, they're all, for all intents and purposes, the same, where it's high intensity.
But I think they should be
fast-paced.
doing that. I mean,
Like you say, a Cold War game, that to me doesn't scream fast-paced first-person shooter. That says to me a tactical espionage level sort of.
Well, they already
like
did the Cold
Saboteur.
War game, though, didn't they? They did Black Ops.
Yeah, yeah.
And they did, World War II wasn't the fastest paced thing you can ever
yeah,
get.
but they made it
Yeah.
work. I do think
And
there's
also,
where
it doesn't
you...
matter, you could do time travel. I don't give a shit if you time travel and you had your exosuit in the Cold War. I'd be like, yeah.
Assassin's Creed it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
now
happy with,
fucking...
I agree. I just think I want it to feel different. I want a reason to play Call of Duty every year, and I think it's almost redundant now to say.
I'm out
well,
now. I'm out.
I agree, but I'm out too this year, I think. But it's redundant to say, oh, they better change it because otherwise they're going to die. Because I thought that, lots of us thought that 3 or 4 years ago and they managed to dodge that bullet. But it has to happen eventually.
The thing is, though, is they are selling crazy numbers, but those crazy numbers are declining each
They are.
year.
I just think a bit of foresight and a bit of a risk may actually give Call of Duty an injection of life that it needs. And just a shame. I just watched that trailer. I'm like, I feel like I've done this.
Yeah, there is
Whereas
a critical
Advanced
number.
Warfare was different.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a critical number where they think, even though it is a lot of numbers that they're selling, that won't be enough to sustain what it is that they're doing, and that will lead to some sort of change. What that will be, whether it will be
I tell you, I'm more excited about Battlefront. That trailer came out, and I got quite pumped for it.
I've not seen a single thing about Battlefront so far.
No, because you're so excited about it, Steve. You want to stay away from all the marketing and just experience it.
No,
as new.
I saw the trailer, but like I said, it didn't have any video game in it.
Well, that's true. It didn't have any video game.
I was a bit confused.
He's waiting for the big tasty encode of the game to be sent.
Yeah, guys, look, if you want me to give up my opinion on this game,
they're Swedish. You should get some Swedish food in, some meatballs.
I've been to their office. It's very swish. As
I was about to say
everyone,
it's very Swedish.
It is very
it
Swedish.
is also quite Swedish.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to talk about any games before we segue into questions that we've been asked this week?
I played another game.
Oh, there we go. Look, Tom's
played
got
all the
loads.
games.
Dark Wood, I think it's called.
Is that scary? That sounds scary too.
This one may be a coward's game in the future. Maybe. It's billed as like, I'm not sure if it's been early access for a long time. Maybe still is early access. I'm not sure. But PC, the people like, I read lots of the reviews to see if it's like worth even bothering with, because a lot of crap on Steam, basically. And people talk about it like it's like the Dark Souls of survival horror.
Oh, no, I'm out already.
Yeah,
And
Miller's
it's
mad
like,
now.
like from the go, you can do like if you die, that's it. Okay, you start from the beginning, all like from
Shit.
scratch. You can turn it off. And I just played it for about, I don't know, half an hour or so. You start in like a cabin, and you've got to kind of get your axe and chop down some like barricades. Like your building's been barricaded for whatever reason. You don't know why exactly. Unless I skipped the intro, maybe I did. And then you kind of explore around. There's like it's quite grim. It's overhead, and it has a very grim look to it. There's like I think it's like a dog that you come across, and it's injured, and it's like you've got to put this out of its misery. So you get your axe and you just batter it until it's dead.
Well, there you go.
And then
Battery.
later on, there was
axe.
a guy like just lying in the road. Like you walk around the wood, and it's very dark and gloomy. You've got like a torch, and I think you can have like a flaming one as well. That there's a bit you can see a bit more. But you take this guy back to your cabin, and then
batter him with the axe.
suddenly, like there's something weird happened. I'm not sure if I switched to play as that man or not. It was a bit weird, but essentially there was this guy in another room going, "Come and help me, and blah blah blah." You couldn't see what he was. He was just saying, "Come and help me." So I went. You kind of got into that room, and then you go and have a look around, and then he just starts battering you, and I died.
Fucking hell. Tom's been playing fucked up games this week.
Tom hasn't slept a lot this week.
No.
That apparently is a really good. People really love it. So
What's it called again? Dark
I
Wood.
think it's called Dark Wood.
All right, well, maybe we'll look at that in the future.
No, that one. No, that
Video
one's
stuff.
actually called Out of the Park Baseball.
Okay.
Oh no,
so-
Super Mega Baseball. That
Oh, you ruined it, but you fucked it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the games we've been playing this week. Before we will answer your questions that you've asked, we do have a new podcast competition to announce, and it's all to do with Kojima. All you have to do is make us laugh with something to do with Kojima. You may have recorded a video we did years ago. It was years ago now.
Was
where
it?
we put Kojima in a Beamer. Spoiler, that upset him. So if you can think of something, keep it,
That's
clean.
where this started,
That-
Miller. I'm convinced.
Well, he
That's
got
why
so
he's left.
upset
Yeah,
that he-
and it kind of
Maybe.
snowballed. It's like Konami didn't back me on the Beamer thing.
Only
Yeah.
reason we
Why does
did
that video still exist, Konami?
It
Why?
was literally because we were writing lyrics for that review-sical, and I said that line, like, what rhymes
I
with
wrote
Kojima?
that lyric. I
Did
came
you?
out with Beamer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no one answered
it's
me,
like-
so I just
it's
made a
like
Google
Paul and
Doc
John
and
here.
sent it round.
Yeah.
So like, fine, if no one's going to answer.
Do you think Kojima
get
just
it
sat there
digitally.
in the weekly meetings going, is there anything else we need to discuss? He's like, yep, that fucking Beamer video's still up.
Yeah.
He's
But yeah,
like,
so
shit.
go to the VideoGamer.com forums. You'll find the thread that we put up after this podcast. And literally, it could be a Photoshop, it could be a video. Be creative. Anything you can come up with that you think, and try and tie it into the situation as well. So maybe what his next game's going to be, maybe the reason he's having these problems with Konami. Be creative, be imaginative, and the winner will win a game of £50 from shop2.net. Everyone ready for questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Jeez, Brett. First one comes from the man I can never pronounce, Bilal Square One. It's about Kojima. Where would you want Kojima to go, and which company or studio, or his own independent
Microsoft,
studio?
just to see the internet.
Yeah.
blow up.
Just to see the internet.
If he
you
goes,
imagine exclusive Xbox One
I'm going
games?
to Xbox. I'm making only Xbox games. They're
Surely
going
he's going to
mental.
make his own independent studio and come up
Well,
with the most screwed up games you can imagine.
Who knows? Maybe. But
Burns,
maybe
where
he's
would you
got
like him
Microsoft.
to go as a
I'd just
Kojima
like him
fan?
to retire.
Really? Think he's done?
Yeah. He might have some good stuff left in him, but
Why
you know.
risk it? Like
Well,
Shawn Michaels again.
Exactly.
Retire when you're on top.
Well, I wouldn't really like him to retire, but I just know that there'd be so much boiled piss that it would just make my life real easy on Twitter, just winding people up. So that, from a very
Personal
selfish
point of view.
point of view.
Yeah.
But I'd like him to go and work with Oh, who do I like? Who sends me free games and like big tasties?
Have a think. Let us know.
I'll let you know
Most
in the
corrupt
competition.
company. Steve Burns is most corrupt.
No, he's going to go work
companies.
for EA, make Dead Space 4.
Lol. Burns, not Burns. Brett.
I agree with Tom. I'd like him to go to Sony or Microsoft and just do something
Troll the
exclusive.
internet.
You go
Yeah.
Naughty Dog.
I don't think he go to Sony. I don't know why. I imagine
They'll
there's
have an
Because
independent
they're
studio
making a
called the
bigger push,
Kojima
aren't they,
Group,
for
won't they?
horror with Dying Light and what
Who
is it?
knows?
No, Until Dawn. Sorry, I keep getting those.
Lol, Until Dawn.
Wesley asks, will The Witcher 3 crumble under the weight of its ambition? And even if it doesn't, do you think that it will be ignored by most? I don't know, because if you had asked me that maybe 6 months to a year ago, I would have said probably. But then any time you do anything with The Witcher, people go crazy. So they're a very loud
It's going to
niche.
sell very well, I think. Whether or not it's going to be as good as everyone thought
I think
it
it's
was,
going to be that good.
I don't know.
I
I think
played
it's-
The Witcher 2.
I think it's going to be good if you like The Witcher.
Yeah.
But
That's what. This is the thing, because everyone's told me, "Oh, Millie, you'll love The Witcher. It's a very accessible, big RPG." No,
not
it's not.
accessible
It's
at all.
not. It's this whole complete genre unto itself.
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
This isn't Skyrim. I mean, this may be. I haven't played The Witcher 3,
Mm.
so they may be like, okay, we need to bring in more elements of games that are more popular than ours. But if they go Witcher 2 route, this is
Yeah.
a very, very hardcore fuck you RPG. Like, you don't expect to be walking around talking to dragons. That's what you do in Skyrim. That's what Skyrim is. Climb a mountain, talk to a dragon, get a quest, go down the mountain, do the quest, go back, talk to the dragon.
I'm just
Skyrim.
picturing you walking around Witcher 2 going, where the fuck are all these dragons?
Is anyone here excited about Witcher 3?
I
No.
am. Yeah.
Why?
I played The Witcher 2 and really enjoyed it, but like you say, there was too much for me to take in for my first time playing Witcher. The combat was poor because you never knew when you was getting hit.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
But I did really enjoy the world that they created, and I like games like that. I just get so caught up doing all the side quests, and even doing all like the pub games, and I just love playing everything that the game has to
Fable
offer.
2 pub games, the best game everyone forgot about.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just really looking forward
Dismissed.
to it. I never played Fable 2 because I didn't like Fable at all.
Do you think it's too ambitious? It's a very ambitious game. Every time you see a trailer, they're putting a lot of money into it.
I mean,
The Fable 2 pub
Why-
game.
yeah.
yeah.
Still going now.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
I don't know. Too ambitious. I mean, it's only too ambitious if it doesn't work. Surely. I mean, too ambitious. I don't know how to define that. I'm looking forward to it, and then I don't think it will fail to deliver what they've promised so far.
Burns, I can't imagine you're that excited about The Witcher 3. It's not
Honestly.
really your type of thing.
I downloaded The Witcher 2 because I wanted to try super sampling on my new PC. And I was like, yes, looks really good. And I turned it off.
There you go.
I turned it off because at the start it was like, oh, go here and there. And there's so much screen furniture.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
It's
like,
not.
fuck this shit.
All right. Darren Pill says, for everyone, what are your go-to drunk games or just games you wouldn't otherwise enjoy? Kind of two completely different questions. We'll start with drunk games. Are there any games you get? I don't drink.
I don't
so I can't
drink.
answer that question. You play Pez drunk, right? Party Pez.
I am so much better at Pez after I've been drinking.
Yeah.
Like me and my friend B-Sides play Pez in 2-player Master League. And we just can't play it unless we've been drinking. It's really weird, but I suppose what it is you get into the when you're sitting there thinking, right, we've got to be really good at Pez, we've got to play on the top setting or whatever, got to win the Champions League. You start to get worried, but then if you've been drinking, you just listen to the music and just shouting at each other and just talking a load of shit, and suddenly you realise you've scored 5 goals. You can only remember 2 of them. You're like, oh, we've just done it. So yeah, that, and also Guitar Hero is
Drunk,
obviously
that's
a very
a
good
nightmare.
party game.
That's- yeah.
Party game.
Much better at the drums whilst drunk, but can't play the guitar at all. So
I guess it gives it an interesting twist.
yeah, but no, I don't know.
Brett, do you play anything when you're drunk or games that you wouldn't enjoy, you get wasted and then play and enjoy?
I don't play games while drunk because I'd be shit at all of them, and it also mean I'd be drinking at home. No.
You don't drink at home?
Why? I'm at home.
Because
Why
you
would I be
enjoy
drunk?
the taste of
Just
a
sit and watch
silky
my-
whiskey?
Sit and watch my settee spin around a bit.
You have to get
outside.
wasted. Just have
Yeah.
one drink.
No.
Jeez.
Why would I drink at home? I'm indoors.
Brett's got a problem. Can't just have one.
Why would I drink indoors?
Gonzala Peralta, how many upcoming Final Fantasies would you cancel to get one Silent Hills? I'd
All of
cancel
them. All of
Final
them.
Fantasy forever.
I'd
Yeah.
cancel all of them and go back in time and
Cancel the ones
delete
that-
all those fucking ones.
It was the dumbest game from entry number 1. We'll call it Final Fantasy because we're almost out of cash and this will be the other. And then there's 92 of them. Oh, I hate that.
Some of them are apparently quite good, but it's less the games and, as always, more the people.
Oh yeah, they
I just
talk about
can't
the games.
stand
there'll be
Final
at
Fantasy
least
fans.
half.
Yeah.
Or any Final Fantasy fan listening to this now will be mad. and ripping their clothes off
So
and running
what?
down the street with rage.
So what?
Oh, I don't care. I'm just letting you know.
That snowboarding one was the best.
There's a Final Fantasy snowboarding game?
Yeah.
I didn't
What?
know that.
What about
What's
the
it called?
Chocobo racing one, or was that part of another game?
I
Was it
think-
kart racing? Were you actually on chocobos?
No, it was Chocobo Racing.
With wheels
wasn't
on
it?
their
It was
legs.
like a
Yeah,
PlayStation
for
game.
chocobos in a car.
I'm sure there was a snowboarding game on mobile phones.
Oh,
There's always
Because
that.
there was it was
horrendous.
in Final Fantasy 7, wasn't it? I think.
There was Chocobo racing in Final Fantasy. I don't know about snowboard.
But I think they made it its own game.
Do you
Oh,
like
maybe.
Final Fantasy?
Of course he
Not the
does.
series, no.
There you go.
I
There's
like a
4
couple of
people
them.
that don't like. Would you cancel Final Fantasy from here to the end of the time to get Silent Hills?
Of course I would.
So there you go. Who fucking playing these games?
Who's
I don't know.
The worst one is that online one, that 14 one. That can fuck off.
I played Final Fantasy X was the first one I played. After years of people saying, "Millie, you got to play it. You got to play it." I hated it so much. I've told this story before. I calmly ejected it and snapped it in two. I wasn't mad. I was just
Wait,
like,
what
"You
do you mean?
have to die."
Calmly did it. You calmly snapped
Well,
it.
some people get mad, don't they, and throw their controllers, or they have game rage. I was calm. I was like, "No, this game has to die right now." I just
I'm picturing
knew.
you making
just
eye
knew it was the
contact with
thing to
yourself
do.
in the mirror while you snap it as well, looking at yourself as you do it.
It was that shit bit where you fight a boss on a ship and then you land after, and it's hard. It's so hard, and it throws you right into the sub boss. And if you die there, which you're likely to, given that you've just used all your resources on the
Gotta
boss,
do it all again.
sends you back.
Yeah,
Got it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Went nope, snapped in the bin.
See, that should be enough to give that game a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And imagine you were arguing that. Imagine if you were watching. I know it's not the same thing. I
also-
know this is illogical. I'm going to fucking argue it. Imagine you went in the cinema and they were like, halfway through, they went, "Got to start this movie again." And like,
If you don't know any question,
well, I'm not sure. I'm down for that.
Don't forget as well that Final Fantasy X, the whole plot is your dad is a fish. That's the plot. The plot is stop your dad who's become a fish. That's it.
Yeah, people are scum, and that's why they like those games.
There you go. Summed up by Stephen W. Burns. D. Rodders asks, that's a Dirt question, with Dirt Rally being announced and released on the same day, can you see other games doing this in the future? Early access games, maybe. I don't think anyone would dare make a proper AAA game.
PT did it though.
But again, it's on AAA, and it was free. This is the thing. Like, say they did it with, I don't know, Gears 4 comes to hit. But E3, June.
Yeah.
Gears of War 4, out right now. They want to build it. I don't think they dare.
HD remaster, you could see it though, couldn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
something like that I could see. Because that's...
Something which has had a build and has an already pre-installed user base, essentially. So this is why when Sega just went, "Oh yeah, and the Saturn's out today."
Yeah, they did that with an
They
Xbox
fucked
360
it.
remake as well. When that thing where Don Matrick was on the stage and he
Oh,
lifted up
Matrick.
the case of an Xbox and there was the Slim inside and he said, "This is in stores now."
See, that works because then you rely on word of mouth and social media. People, what do you mean it's available now?
Yeah,
People
yeah.
will talk about it, and if you're interested in that product, like a remaster, you'll go out of your way to find it. But if it's something new or something big, you need to build it with the traditional. Well, the companies see it that way because otherwise it's a risk, and you don't want to.
And because we're in the UK, it's always a case of, "Oh, is it in stores now?" And you're like, "Oh, no, it's not."
Well, I don't know. Maybe smaller games do it, but then again, it's not going to get that big a thing.
Yeah, you
I
need
think-
that hype to build up for ages.
It seemed to have worked with Dirt Rally. People seem to be quite excited when they found out they could play it right now. But
I'd
again,
love to know how many people would buy Gears of War 4 though if they tried it out right now. And
I
in
would.
digital distribution, you'd probably drop everything and it could create a massive.
if you do it
buzz.
first,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, they do it with albums. Beyonce did it, and that other dude did it. I can't remember his name. Drake, and that worked. But on the subject of Gears of War, that's the rumor, isn't it? Gears of War, the original game, being remastered. for
It's going to
Xbox
happen.
One.
Innit? Got to.
I'm well up for that. And all they got to do,
First one's the best one by a mile.
I agree. All they got to do though is make sure that they fix. I mean, give it a proper upgrade. Don't give me. They probably will do this because of what they've done in the past. But don't give me a Halo upgrade, which is not a real upgrade, and you push a button to switch between that. Properly take it into this generation. Just make sure the multiplayer works. The whole 4-on-4 stuff. Keep the maps. Dust it off a bit. Don't need
And
anything
fix that
else.
fucking ram fight.
No, I liked it like that.
No, you-
Fuck
no,
everybody.
you
Screw them.
didn't.
Screw
That's
'em.
a lie,
I
Miller.
did. Fuck them.
Yeah, there's
We'll go back and do that ram fight now and see if you feel that way.
No, I love it. I'll never get mad at it. Man, you got beat me.
the fucking bats.
Beat me.
What was that about?
The bats were terrible. That bit with the light. Oh, you got killed by Krill.
That's
Mike Hayward says, this is oddly written, given that an eventual heat death of the universe may be untrue, how are Ubisoft going to fuck, what's it called? He hasn't written it, Siege. I can't remember the name of the game.
Six.
Rainbow Six, thank you. Just written for Siege. As I said plenty of times before, don't trust Ubisoft until the game's actually out, because
Yep.
I think they changed stuff a lot. But Burns,
Yeah.
you're very high on Siege, and I trust your opinion.
I've played it, and I'm a little bit worried about some elements of it, but it doesn't need this backstory that it's got, and maybe that could just be marketing, because when it was announced that the characters had backstories, I think what that translates to in game is that when you can't all just be assault class, you are forced into picking a class. And at first that feels quite punitive and restrictive, but then it forces you like, okay, even if you're in a public match, you have to learn how to play as all these characters. And I didn't have a headset on, but soon I was backing up the person I knew I should be backing up. So that element of it is quite tight. But it is Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And you never know when a load of old shit is going to... There was no perk system.
When's
in it
it's
above and
out
beyond
this
the one that you
year,
had.
right?
Yeah.
They've already given the SAS shit names. Sledge.
Thatcher.
He's got a sledgehammer. So
Oh, yeah, that
fuck
is
me.
bad.
Yeah.
Really?
But it's out this year, and we're not being inundated by trailers, which is already a different approach. So hopefully that means this will be different. But then again, this year they got what? Assassin's Creed, The Division, and Rainbow Six
I'm looking
Siege.
forward to going to
Too
E3
many
and
games.
seeing what's going on with The Division, because I saw it last year behind...
You
closed
liked it at the
doors.
time, didn't you? You thought it was good.
I thought it looked interesting,
Yeah.
but it also had those Ubisoft elements. It's like,
And
They're
the thing is,
towers.
they can really push that because it's an MMO type of game, so they can really...
Persistent online world, I think.
no,
the
it's
official term
is it
is.
really?
fuck off. It's just freedom fighters with towers.
So it's a POW
the
game, then. It's a POW,
That's
not an
the-
MMO, it's a
yeah.
POW.
So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to seeing it, because when The Division was announced, that Snowdrop or whatever engineer was like, oh, this is amazing. And then suddenly like, yeah, but it's a Ubisoft game, isn't it?
That was announced in 2014. 13. 2013.
Do you know when everyone got mad because that guy shut the door on the cab as he ducked down behind
Got
like,
mad?
the police?
What do you mean got mad?
They got happy
I
because
thought you meant when I was at E3 and
No,
someone
no, no.
slammed the door on my head and cut
because
me open.
he ducked down
True
behind the
story.
police car and then he moved across and then
That's
because the
good,
door was
isn't it?
open he pushed it shut.
Oh, that
and
was
everyone
cool. I like
yeah,
that.
That's
Yeah,
what,
that
that
was
was the
good.
big thing. That was the one thing
Yeah.
that kicked off.
I liked it.
But
demo.
the game, but I don't think people have really seen that much of it. It's so
They haven't.
systems heavy, and like it's got so much screen furniture.
Of course, it's
That
Ubisoft.
makes
Of
me
course
mad.
it does.
There's got to be an option to turn that off. The games would be 5 times better if you could turn off all the fucking twinkling bullshit.
That's all right. Rise will come back soon. Then we'll all be happy.
Get our
Rise and Hawks. John Hathaway says, I miss Rise Star. Which of the traditional platformer icons could be successful in
Shut up,
2015? None of them. Mario lives on, Sonic's dead, Rise Star's dead, that egg's dead.
Bubsy.
I don't know what
Zool.
it is. Which one's the
Bubsy?
Zool?
Oh, Bubsy's the
Which
that
one's
the rabbit?
Bubsy?
Bubsy.
The Bobcat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I remember that now. I do. Bring Jazz Jack Rabbit back. Cliffy B's not doing anything. He can make another one of those games.
Battletoads.
No, nobody
No.
wants. But
I hate Battletoads.
We talked about this before.
Who wants Battletoads?
Do
If you
Goof
think you
Troop.
want Battletoads,
Who likes it? I don't understand who liked Battletoads.
But it was crap. Like
People
so
only-
hard.
people
Just
only
shit
played-
turtles.
Yeah.
Battletoads.
If people only like Battletoads, people only played the first level and thought it was a fighting game.
the best
People
bit.
liked
So
it.
many people get mad right now. You're so negative about Battletoads.
No, do Goof Troop.
Who's
That's what we want.
who's genuine platforming icons? Mario's still here. Sonic, we all know about that.
Yeah.
Rise Star, the ain't
Rise
coming
Star.
back. What else is actually like a platforming icon? There aren't that many. Dizzy, no. See, look, we've silenced the room trying to think
The Looney
about
Tunes
it.
had a good run as platforming games,
Zool.
but
They were
didn't
okay.
last long.
What was that?
Konami made that
Gecko.
game, didn't they?
Gex. Oh.
Gex, yeah, bring him back. We're probably not thinking of loads, but I actually think there's that many.
No, there aren't.
I've stumbled over those
There was
words.
single entries like Pandemonium and Ape
Crash
Escape.
Bandicoot.
Ape Escape was one.
Crash
What's his name?
Bandicoot.
Crash
The Ape
Bandicoot.
Escape games, when they went all mini games, were all right. They were
But
quite good.
The reason
Crash
why
Bandicoot's a good show.
The reason why Ape Escape existed was to teach people how to use the dual analog sticks, wasn't it? That was the only reason that game
I liked
existed.
Ape Escape. It was okay. But no, I think Crash Bandicoot and...
But who wants that?
But Jack and
anymore?
Daxter are still going. The other two are still going. Ratchet and Clank.
Jack
So-
and
Jack and
Daxter
Daxter
are
ain't
still
going.
Yes, they are. What,
No, they're not.
No, the game came out, what, 2-3 years ago? That's still going. Rise Star's been like 20 years.
When did Jack and
Well,
Daxter
they're more
game
like
come
think
out?
came out
Rise Star.
recently.
Just a remake, maybe.
Vector
yeah, but
Man.
it's still relevant now. No one's
Booger
fucking
Man.
remastering
Booger
Dirt.
Man.
Yeah, Pick and Flick Adventure.
Rise Star. Dirt. I don't know. It's all gone bad. Next question. Peter McAllister. What's the perfect amount of time between a game's announcement and its release?
2 minutes. It's out right now.
I think 6 months. I think you announce it in the summer, release at the end of the year. Otherwise, I get bored. You show me too much. Like Batman, I love Batman, but it's now suffering from every trailer release. Like, I get it, because the delay kind of suffered from it a bit.
You can push a year.
I don't think I'll play Batman now. I just don't think I'll play it. But if they said 6 months ago Batman's going to be out in 6, I'll be like, okay, I'll get it. And now every time I see it, I'm like,
It's too much sometimes. You can have too much marketing to the point it
and it's all
dilutes
very
the product.
similar.
Yeah.
In this latest one, you get that dual play or whatever. But I saw all that at the reveal, essentially. Now, I think with Metal Gear Solid, that's actually a special case because his games are so idiosyncratic that you're like, oh yeah, I would watch a trailer where a little dog runs out and licks you and then becomes a big dog. It's like, oh shit, that looks interesting. But the trailers for games like The Division and all the other macho fucking shooting, white
Far
man,
Cry.
vengeance, fascism bullshit, they're all the same trailers for 2 years. They're like, I get The Division, I know what it is, let me fucking
That's
play
it.
it.
That's the point. You don't need to sell it to me. You just let me know what the game is. And a game like that, I often know within 10 minutes whether it's for me or not.
Yeah.
And the rest is all just pomp and circumstance.
Send it to my office. KFC's just around the corner.
Yep.
And
Okay, that
I'll
one.
look at it. I'll look at it.
Anyone else? Could anyone go 2 years?
No.
for announcements
That's why
at the end of the
Ubisoft
game?
I
keeps
could be
getting it
dead in
wrong.
2 years. You know,
in 2
I've
minutes.
only got 10 left. So I
It's
can only
dead
do
right now.
Yeah, pretty
When they
much.
announced Witcher 3, that must have been like a long time.
That's too
ago.
long as well.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
it's been around forever.
It's been delayed
so-
a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
You can push a year, like where you announce it at one E3, it's out by the next one, but
I think a good amount of time would be announced at E3, release in November.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my
a
favourite.
good. I mean, most
Yeah.
people that isn't what they do, but I think there'll be a few games at E3 that are done that.
I
way.
hope so.
yeah.
Richard J says, I'm what do you call it, kidnapping the podcast for a bit. But he asked, does Miller have any tips for repairing a damaged rotator cuff? The only reason I
What's
will
this?
answer that, look, I was out of the gym for 2.5 years with a damaged rotator cuff and I needed surgery. So I want to say to this man, if it's really bad, go and badger your doctor now to get surgery. That ruined my life. That's what I wanted to say. There is one last question we're going to do. For some reason, it hasn't printed off. So I can't remember your name. I apologise. But somebody wanted us to talk about the new direction of video.
Is this Oscar something?
Yes, I thought I put it on this sheet. Maybe I didn't, but I did want to address it because some people are basically saying, where are the 20 to 30 minute long chats about video games gone, where it's all serious. Now, I would say that's what we've just done. Now you've just got an hour's worth of
That
serious.
was very
content.
Vince, that delivery there, Miller, wasn't it?
It's entertainment. But I also would say that you're still getting that. Like, we did a Silent Hills video yesterday, which was mostly looking at the facts and discussing stuff. But more so than that, you got to have a USP. We like to think our USP is not treating games very seriously and having fun with them more often than not. And someone said our videos are shorter as well. I don't think so. I think they're just more varied now. There's still some long videos
There's more
out
of
there.
them. And there will be instances, there can be no promises about stuff, but we're always talking about
Yes.
what we're going to do with videos. And so there has to be a balance. I'll skews more towards taking
Yeah,
the piss. But when there's the big discussions, we will talk about them.
We'll
We talked
be
about
there.
Silent Hills and when Metal Gear comes out and when Kojima's found dead somewhere. We'll talk about all that with the gravity with which it deserves.
Exactly. And all of yesterday, Steve and I were passing ideas back and forth for more editorial focused ideas.
Yeah,
So,
we were nicking them essentially,
Well,
but
yeah,
that's the best way to do it.
we're entertainment, so there. But yeah, I mean, anyone that thinks I would say, look at the vast amount of content that's on our YouTube page or on the VideoGamer.com itself before making those claims, because I would say I would disagree. That's all I would say. Anyone's got anything else I want to throw in there? Otherwise, we're done. It's the end of the podcast. We've come to the end of another Video Gamer UK podcast.
I'm a bit sad about that because I really felt like I was getting into the solicitation of like free games and food.
It was
there.
good. I enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said at the start of the podcast, you can ask us all your... Because a lot of people say that. Where do we ask questions? Just at VideoGamer.com. Usually look for Tuesday morning. We'll put a tweet out asking for questions. Reply. We'll grab a few. We'll come in here. We'll chat about it. If you are a Video Gamer Community Club member, hang around because your extra segment is coming. But as we're still here, Brett Phipps, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, thanks for joining me.
Goodbye.
William H. Macy, thanks for joining me.
How very
Did I get it
gaming.
right?
No,
Is it right? What is
the
it?
mace.
Channing
No, I'll
Tatum.
take that. Channing Tatum.
Who were you at the start of the
Fox.
podcast? Fox. Shit. I'm thinking of actors. Oh, well. Thank you very much for downloading us. Thank you for letting us into your lives, and we're going to be back in 1 week's time.